So we could still vote and approve her to make us arrange their
Yeah, we're supposed to go on vacation next month, and, in like 3 weeks, and I'm starting.
Want me to go ask if
It's
George
the
did
only
by
thing
I'll
that
check with
chance
George.
I can, like, somebody's gonna get sick right before we have to go, or while we're there, and then we are, for the first time in ages. And, yeah, I just don't wanna go. My kid randomly stuck in Mexico. Right.
Rumor is, said it had a conspiracy theory that
Oh.
they no more.
Well, that's interesting.
That she might be.
Not until they get home. Oh, geez. I don't like that idea. My sister was there last year at some point, early last year, and she said that they were doing a lot of, she was in a tour, they were doing a lot of disinfecting of random spaces and like sprays, and you have to walk through a tray of disinfectant liquid going into clothing, like if you're on a sheep farm or something and get put in the mouth, and it's different, it doesn't work that way, but it was really interesting to hear all the stuff that they're doing there, so maybe they'll a little better.
Yeah.
Hopefully they knew what they're doing.
Backwards, make it welcoming for tourists. Should be good.
It's good.
What area?
The new season of Ozark.
Bravo.
You watched that, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think we were talking about
It's
that.
funny because there's a girl sitting next to
You'll
me.
go out there and probably try to she's doing great.
Right. Over
That's
President's Day, so we don't have to stay.
trying to look at it, I'm trying not to look at
Right.
it because she had the subtitles
Oh,
on,
yeah.
so I could just kind of watch it. Did you watch it?
I haven't started it yet. I was very.
Do you watch the
yeah,
show?
Yeah,
Oh,
I do like
okay.
that show, yeah.
Hang out with them for a little while.
I was very excited that it was coming out, but I haven't gotten around to it.
That show is, it's
I heard from people that watched this season already. They must have watched it in like a day or two, but they said that like it like jumps the shark.
I was
that
thinking
expression,
today
like
that I
it
need
gets a little too crazy.
well, this is the last season.
Oh, it is. Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe it does get a little.
Well, I hope they don't.
That's something to look
I
forward
hope it doesn't.
Yeah. And my kids know it's expected.
Everything you say.
They just have it. Great. We'll have to figure that out, yeah. I didn't realize it.
All right, if everyone could please have your microphones on. Good evening, the hour being 6:30 PM on Monday, January 24th, 2022. I'd like to call to order the Brookfield Village Board meeting. Would everyone please join me in a pledge of allegiance to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Bridget, we have a roll call, please.
Trustee Cote,
Here.
Trustee Hendricks,
Here?
Trustee Conroy,
Here.
Trustee LeClere,
Here.
Trustee Kaluzny,
Here.
President Garvey,
Here.
and Trustee Ketchmark is absent.
Thank you, Bridget. We have one appointment tonight. I'd entertain a motion to appoint Susan Rohner to the Brookfield Beautification Commission.
So moved.
Second. The motion was made by Trustee Kaluzny, second by Trustee Cote. Any questions or comments on the appointment?
I just wanted to note that Sue has been a really big asset on the Brookfield the Conservation Commission, and I'm really excited to have her moving over to the Beautification Commission to even work more with us. She had a lot to do with the planters on Grand and the design of those, so excited to take her beautiful aesthetic and put it to good use.
Great. We thank her for her past service, and we appreciate her request to move to the Brookfield Beautification Commission. Any other questions or comments from the board? Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Cote,
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks,
Aye.
Trustee Conroy,
Aye.
Trustee LeClere,
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny,
Aye.
motion passes.
Thank you. At this point, I'll open it up to public comment. Does anybody on my right have any comments? Anybody on my left? Okay, hearing no public comment, we'll move on to reports of special committees. Trustee Cote, please.
I would like to make a motion to approve corporate warrant dated 24 January 2022 in the amount of $1,689,368.17.
Second.
Okay, the motion was made by Trustee Cote, second by Trustee Hendricks. Trustee Cote, any highlights or anything you want to point out about the warrant?
Yes, as expected, we had talks during our budget meeting about our IRMA expense going up. It did. It went to $517,000 from the $417 last year.
Do any board members have any questions or comments about the warrant? Okay, hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Cote.
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks.
Aye.
Trustee Conroy.
Aye.
Trustee LeClere.
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny.
Aye.
Motion passes.
In regards to DPW, please reminder that snow parking is in effect. Go outside, take a picture of the sign so that you know which side not to park on. Please note that even though it stopped snowing, it is in effect for the next day as well, so that both sides of the street can be plowed. Our streets division has been busy replacing street signs south of the tracks, and they've been doing a lot of pothole patching. The water division recently repaired 3 main breaks, 3600 block of Arden, 4000 block of Dubois, and 4000 block of Blanchard. And our forestry division is continuing their tree removal programs. In regards to the library, the new parking area is now open to the public. The next library board meeting is this Wednesday. Please visit the library website to see upcoming events like Girl Scout and story times, and please check ahead because a lot of the events have moved to virtual. Registration is now open for AARP Tax Assistance Program. So all of those who are in need of tax assistance, it'll focus on those that are 60 and older. It'll be open on Fridays from February 11th through April 8th. Please go see the library website for that. And that concludes my report for today.
Thank you, Trustee Cote. Tim, can we clarify, is the ordinance going to be in effect tomorrow, Tuesday, the 25th, or because...
Well, you're stealing my manager's report, but I will report on it now. It's in effect till 8 p.m. tonight. We did not have enough snow late this evening into this morning. We did not have 2 inches of measurable snow. So the ban that started, as Trustee Cote said, from yesterday's storm, will technically end at 8 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
So it will not be in effect on Tuesday morning,
Correct.
the 25th?
Well, that just
Unless it
destroys my
snows
report.
No, that's okay. I'm glad you brought up, Trustee Cote, because there was confusion, and we're just trying to be fair. DPW did a great job getting what they can over the past couple days, and I know they'll be out there still getting what they can, but the ordinance is not in effect tomorrow morning, so. Thank you, Trustee Cote. Trustee Conroy, Chamber of Commerce, please.
Chamber of Commerce, just want to remind everybody that registration is still open for the 2022 Valentine's Senior Social. This year, there will not be food and drink at the event due to COVID precautions, but they will be hosting a bingo event that will be both live here in the Village Hall and virtual. There will be 50 people eligible to play in person and then up to 200 playing virtually. There are over $1,000 in prizes as well as raffle prizes and gift bags also. For everyone who decides or prefers to play virtually, they can pick up the gift bag Friday or Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. at Hitzman Funeral Home. And then the event will be held on Sunday, February 13th, also from 1 to 3 p.m. So want to make sure everyone is aware of that. And then also the Brookfield Farmers Market is busy making plans for this year, and they are looking for both volunteers and sponsors. So if you don't have anything to do, it's 6 o'clock Saturday mornings. Feel free to give them a call. They'd be happy to have you to help participate in that event. So feel free to contact me for details on how to get involved if you'd like to. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Conroy. Trustee Hendricks, Planning and Zoning.
Planning and Zoning Commission has a meeting this Thursday at 7 p.m. in this room.
Thank you. Trustee LeClere, Parks and Recreation.
I have no report.
Thank you. Trustee Kaluzny, Conservation and Beautification.
The Conservation Commission has not met since our last meeting, but their next meeting is tomorrow night, January 25th at 6:30 p.m. here at Village Hall. The Beautification Commission met earlier in January. They're planning out all of their programs for the year. One thing to note is that they are tentatively scheduling the Project Nice for spring for April 30th, Saturday, April 30th, at 8:30 in the morning. So you can look forward to that. We're going to solidify with staff which sites that we're going to be working on for that, and also the Adopt a Spot sites for this year. And their next meeting is February 8th at 6 p.m. In Village Hall. That ends my report.
Thank you, Trustee Kaluzny. In terms of the Solid Waste Agency, we had our full board meeting last week, and we set up a schedule for the budget workshop. We're not on the same, we're not on a fiscal year, so we have upcoming budget work, so there'll be several Finance Committee meetings, but we moved our next regularly scheduled Board of Directors meeting till April 13th, and this full agency meeting, the 27th of April, and that coincides with the next WCMC meeting. If there's any meetings between now and then, I'll update the board. And just briefly, myself and Tim are going to meet with we've been reaching out, the zoo reached out to us, we reached out to each other. We're gonna have nice meetings. We set up February 10th to meet with the new director over at the zoo, and we wanted to let him get settled in, and we thought it'd be a good time to sit down and talk and just have a meeting, so I'll update the board after that, so. Okay, that ends the reports at this time. I'd entertain a motion to pass the omnibus agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by Trustee Kaluzny, second by Trustee Conroy. Roll call, please.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Conroy?
Aye.
Trustee LeClere?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to the items under regular business, I'd entertain a motion to pass a resolution to award a contract for the 2022 sewer cleaning and televising to National Power Rotting Corporation in the amount of $320,851.75.
So moved.
Second.
The motion was made by Trustee Cote, second by Trustee Kaluzny. Any questions or comments from the board?
Yeah, I do have a question, that more so procedural than anything else, but we're voting on this now without having without this having been at the committee.
This is, staff has reviewed the bids, and when the bid opening came back, and staff provided us the background on the bids, what the estimates were, and any other things. I mean, I know we've done this in the past. It didn't feel the need for a further committee session on it, but if you have questions or if there's a consensus that we need to table this to vote on it, I'm open to that.
Well, the issue I have is that, I mean, there's been multiple things that have come before us. Even in the past year, I can think of multiple things where residents and businesses that request anything have to go through multiple planning and zoning meetings. Then they come here and it's presented at committee to whole, then they have to wait 2 more weeks to get a vote on it. And I just think we need to live by the same standards that we impose upon our residents. That's something, especially when we're spending $320,000, we need to give residents an opportunity to voice any concerns or issues, even if there may not be any. Because when there's issues as inane as changing the sides of a sign for the spot on Boulevard Brennan, thank you. It was a minor sign, but she still had to go through the whole process and go through multiple meetings. And I just think if we make our residents do this, we should follow the same procedure that if we're gonna talk the talk, we need to walk the walk, and I just don't think that, especially when it's $320,000, that this should go to committee and I have no issues changing the procedure and making it easier for everybody, but I think we have to live by the same bureaucracy that we impose.
Well, the other example that you provided, I mean, there's ordinances that require that change I know there are other times that we've discussed and voted on things, but the example you're bringing up, Brennan Spa, by our ordinances, it requires, if you want to change the ordinances about the signs so it doesn't have to go to the Planning and Zoning Commission, but that wasn't something we just chose to make them go through. And then when it did come to the committee of the whole, we did discuss it, and it was put out there, and it was continued for 2 weeks for a board meeting. But we've had several items over the past year or two, and if I would have, if you would have indicated some concern before, I would have definitely put it off for a future. We put other items on the omnibus agenda too that seemed to be a general consensus where we're going to award it to the lowest bidder. But if anyone else on the board wants to table this, I'll entertain a motion to table it. I will. Can I ask staff if there will be a problem in terms of the bids being awarded if we table it?
Well, a couple things. No, I mean, we can table it. And to answer Trustee Conroy's point, there is no policy, there's no rule, there's no law about what goes to committee of the whole and what doesn't. An item like this, and I've talked to when President Ketchmark was president, now that President Garvey is president, my philosophy and my approach has been, if there is something, an item that I believe either the trustees want to discuss or there's somebody from the public that wants to discuss it, then we do it at committee of the whole. There's no legal requirement that anything goes to a committee of the whole. Our practice in Brookfield has been, and this predates me by many years, on planning and zoning type issues, there is a legitimate thinking or philosophy that there will be people that want to talk about it. And so therefore, we don't even have to do planning and zoning things at a committee of the whole, but it's been the practice of the village board to offer and afford the public an opportunity to come and discuss it prior to a final vote being taken. As you know, there's never a final vote at a committee of the whole, it's only the village board. So there is no, just to address one of the things you said, we're not required for bureaucratic purposes, legal purposes, or anything to have planning and zoning or any item go to committee of the whole first. That's been a practice of the village board. As President Garvey said, on a bid like this, and I've followed this since I've been here, you approve money in the budget. We went out to bid for it. We're awarding it to the lowest bidder. I did not expect, nor have I seen any public that wants to talk about it. So to put it in your terms, I mean, I didn't see any need to bureaucratize it by putting a very fundamental and quite honestly rudimentary process through a committee of the whole, just to have the board say, perhaps, yes, go ahead with it, and then delay it for 2 weeks. That is the philosophy on committee of the whole. There is no magic pill. There's no policy. There's no legal requirement. Anything we do with committee of the whole, I'm more than open to talk about ways to streamline everything. But again, the committee of the whole for a planning and zoning or variation purposes to afford the public to talk about it and discuss it before it becomes voted in as policy by the village board. With all that said, I'm looking back at my staff and they're saying.
Well, Derek, would you come up to the microphone, please?
There is a reason why we wouldn't want to.
And as Tim pointed out, we talked about this in terms of the budget. It was the budget discussion and a budget item where the board approved the dollar amount, and there was a chance for public input there. But Derek, and I was asked by our director to remind everyone to speak into the microphone. I guess with the masks, it's a little hard to pick up, so.
Very good.
Thank you,
Good evening. So this contract does include televising some of the streets that are currently under design. We're scheduled to go out for bid in mid-February. So
Okay.
if possible, there is a little urgency to get it awarded tonight. We have an interim completion date for those streets that are being improved this year. I think it's February 7th. Those streets, the sewers on those streets need to be televised.
Okay. Does anyone else have concerns about voting on this tonight?
No.
Okay. And I'll take board input in the future in terms of if these types of things need to go forward. I'm always available if anyone wants to reach out to me ahead of time. So can we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Conroy?
Aye.
Trustee LeClere?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. I'd entertain a resolution to authorize the execution of a contract with Axon Enterprises for the purchase of in-car squad cameras.
So moved.
Second.
Sorry, who was that, Trustee Cote? Who made the motion?
I made the motion.
Okay, the motion was made by Trustee Cote and second by Trustee LeClere, or Trustee Kaluzny. Sorry, you guys went so fast.
There's a race.
Either one. So a motion by Trustee Cote, second by Trustee Kaluzny. Does anyone have any questions or comments about this? Again, this was discussed during the budget process. We were informed about the police department's preference to go with Axon. They're the ones that provided the body cams and the natural link between the software and the transition that goes from the in-car squads to the body cams. We discussed, I believe, during the budget that there's two main companies that provide these, but that we're asking, the staff is asking to go with Axon because they match up with the body cams that have been in use and are going well, so.
It would be for the smooth transition of data. I totally agree that this would be the case. We should do it.
I had a question about is it the implementation spread over 5 years, or is just the payment spread over 5 years?
Okay, Chief, if you could please come up to the microphone.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, Trustee Conroy, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, so I saw we're spreading this, at least the payments over 5 years. Is the implementation also spread over 5 years, or just, is it all implementation, is it being implemented all at once when the equipment shows up 10 months from now?
Right, the latter. It's a 5-year contract, so the payments are spread out over 5 years. But as soon as the equipment is received, and that's when we'll actually get billed, that's when the contract will begin for the 5-year term.
Okay, so all the equipment's going in at once,
Yes, sir.
and then we're just paying for it over 5 years, or they just break the payments over?
Yes, and that's the typical plan that they actually do. The same thing we did with the body cameras, and we own the equipment once, at the completion of the 5 years. So at that point, it would be a consideration if we do continue on, we would just have to negotiate the service component to it. We wouldn't necessarily need to purchase new equipment. The cameras that we're using currently in the cars are, the original system was 2003. It's not the same now, but we've done very well with maintaining that system. So I'm confident that even after 5 years, I don't think we're going to have to replace, this equipment.
But am I correct, beyond the actual equipment, there's training and customer support throughout the length of the contract, or?
Yes, sir. Yeah, President Garvey, you're correct. I mean, they've been, especially now that we're not yet at a year with the body cameras, but so far they've been very receptive. Every time we've got a question, any troubleshooting or other kinds of issues, they continue to provide that support to us.
Okay. Trustee Conroy, any other questions for now?
No, that's all I had.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Conroy?
Aye.
Trustee LeClere?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Tim, can we have the rest of your manager's report?
Yeah, you already heard it. You stole my thunder.
Okay. All right, hearing nothing further, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the village board meeting at 6:49 PM.
So moved.
Second.
Motion was made by trustee Cote, second by trustee Kaluzny. Roll call, please.
Trustee Cote?
Aye.
Trustee Hendricks?
Aye.
Trustee Conroy?
Aye.
Trustee LeClere?
Aye.
Trustee Kaluzny?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, we're adjourned at 6:49 PM. We have to take a short break to allow for the recording and broadcast of the committee of the whole meeting. So if everyone needs a break for a few minutes, we'll start back up in probably about 5 minutes.